Hi, I'm Matt, and today we're going to look at some scripts, and we're going to go through them, and we're going to see if we can make them better by applying little changes. Exterior, forest, morning. A beautiful doe nibbles on the shrub. The soft crunch of splitting twigs. The doe's ears twitch. A few yards away, a large bush rustles unnaturally. A figure bends some of the bushes branches sideways, crafting a clearer view of the doe. Another animal? A predator? Instead, crouched behind the bushes, Petra, 16. A sketchbook balances on her knees as she draws the doe. Her talent is evident. While sketching, she hums a song. That's not really humming if it has lyrics. Petra sketches furiously, determined to finish. Crack! The lead of her pencil snaps off. The doe's head rises, startled. Petra freezes. A stare down. Petra instinctively reaches out a calming hand toward the animal. The doe bolts. I don't know about you guys, but I'm kind of into this so far. I mean, I get the character. She's gentle, she's talented, she's artistic, and she's one with nature. Exterior, forest, later. Petra leisurely walks. Because they haven't described her clothing, I assume she's just like a 16-year-old girl, like jeans and a hoodie, and whatever 16-year-old girls are wearing nowadays. But if this suddenly turns into like some medieval thing, I'm going to be really mad. So let's hope that doesn't happen. Exterior, forest, bank of trees, later. A patch of bright orange mountains grow out of the scarred bark. Jack-o'-lanterns, deadly, do not touch. She looks right. A cluster of shriveled fungi bursts from another tree. Morals, edible. She tries one, gags. She scribbles an amendment in the sketchbook. But disgusting. Alright, that's kind of funny. I'm into that. Exterior, forest, cage trap area, later. Petra treks down a flat landscape peppered with wild bushes. Eek! A wild animalistic shrieking. I don't like anything about this line. She bends forward, listening. She yanks a bush's limbs out of her way. On the ground beneath her is a terrified raccoon trapped in a metal cage. I don't like this sentence. It's passive tense, Petra smirks. New home for the winter? The raccoon tries to bite through the bars. Here. I think smirks is a poor word choice. It kind of seems like she's being a dick. She releases the locking mechanism and lifts the cage. The raccoon speeds off, disappearing into the foliage. I'd kind of do it like that. You save a line. You only have a finite number of lines in a script, even if you go like long. So every line should really be adding value, and if it's not, my instinct is always to make it shorter. Beep, beep. Petra glances at her watch. Next to the cage, she notices a cluster of dandelions. She snatches a handful and retreats further into the forest. Unless these dandelions come into play in a really, really interesting way in the next couple pages, I am going to be mad at this line. Exterior, cemetery, morning. Heaps of fallen leaves nestle among dozens of headstones. The area is abandoned and discomforting. Petra enters through a rusty metal grate. She walks up to a large headstone. It reads, Daniel and Stephanie Manning, loving parents. I don't know. I don't think you need this much. It was like a gold watch in the forest. That ain't supposed to be there. She goes to her parents' headstone, and it reads, Daniel and Stephanie Manning, loving parents. And she cocks an eyebrow close up on the word loving. Her head bends sideways like she's deciphering a foreign language. From context clues, I imagine that these are her parents, and she's looking at loving weird because they were not terribly loving parents. So she's basically doing the bare minimum, so I guess I get that. Petra still strolls steadily through the forest. Bang! A gunshot rips through the calming ambience. Petra takes off. Why run to the gunshot? You know Petra very well because you're her author and your god and you created her. And in your mind's eye, Petra is exactly the kind of girl, for whatever reason, who would run toward a gunshot. But that's not exactly basic bitch behavior. Given that you want us to like Petra and be identified with why she's doing the things she's doing, you might want to show what she wants. Because right now I've got no idea what she wants. She just seems like an arbitrarily crazy chick. I feel like this is too long. Exterior, forest, edge of clearing, minutes later. Petra stealthily hides behind a large tree at the forest edge, mere yards away from a strange scene in front of her. A small camp. A tiny fire breathes among bags of equipment. 5 men carry high-caliber rifles. 4 converge to a particular spot. Another man, obscured by a tent, sits watching the group. 2 of the men reach the spot. Beneath them lies a dead gray wolf. Fred, 31, looks over the corpse, jubilant. Let the newbie get it. Haven't even seen him raise his gun yet. They look over to Jacobson, 27, babyface, who nervously cradles his rifle. Sure, I can get it. Jacobson lifts up the body and starts forward, but stops as he hears a sharp snap. Petra hears it too. She watches closely, trying not to make a sound. Jacobson stands frozen. He shakes his head. Just the wind. He turns. This is really good scene work because I'm going moment to moment, and I like how this would almost illustrates a discrete shot, and then we cut to Petra, and then we cut to Jacobson, so I think this is very visual. Crack! Another snarling gray wolf races out from the trees. Jacobson yells, dropping the corpse. He's too shocked to flee and has no weapon to grab. The wolf pounces on him. He screams. One arm struggles to hold the wolf back, the other shields his throat. Petra gasps, too stunned to move as she watches the attack. I would consider cutting this because, I don't know, I mean, what should she be doing here? She doesn't have a gun. Jacobson shrieks as the wolf claws at him rapidly, trying to land a bite. Bang! The wolf flies off Jacobson and drops to the ground. This is a bad pronoun. I think you mean the wolf, but it could be Jacobson, but just make that clearer. Everyone turns to the tent. The obscured man has risen from the chair. Alright, that's bullshit. Bullshit, bullshit, bullshit. Unless you say that there's an obscured man over here. Oh, another man obscured by the tent sits watching the group. Because I forgot about that, I had to go back and look to see if there was an obscured man. And you don't even need to introduce the obscured man until now, really. Yeah, so I'd totally recommend getting rid of this obscured man because too much shit happens in between. So yeah, consider cutting that. And again, you save lines. Keller calmly walks past the hunters and bends over Jacobson. You okay, Jacobson? Yeah. Yes, thank you, sir. Save a line. I don't like choreography breaking up scenes. Go grab yourself some bandages and some new pants. Jacobson releases a squawk-like laugh, good behavior, and walks toward the fire, wincing. Keller hears a whine. He looks down at the shot wolf. It isn't dead, but certainly close. He unsheathes a large hunting knife and crouches next to the animal. The wolf cries in agony as he stabs it in the stomach. He stabs again and again, increasing intensity each thrust. It's clear he's aiming for non-lethal marks. I think you might want to be more descriptive on what aiming for non-lethal marks is. He stabs it in places that won't kill. The legs, the back, whatever. Always remind the reader who's doing what. Jesus, Keller, you only have to slice its neck, brother. Keller snaps from his fervor. He pulls the blood-drenched knife from the wolf's stomach. I know. You don't really need to be that descriptive on a beat that's both unpleasant and, kind of par for the course of the genre. I don't think you need she gazes at the bloody wolf because, I mean, what else would she be looking at? Beep, beep! Petra's watch. She cries out in silence and struggles to silence it. They confusingly search for the noise's source means that they are searching for the noise's source in a way that could be construed as confusing. What are those men doing? Except Keller, who looks right at her. She gasps and quickly speeds back into the trees. Petra stops at the edge of the forest, bending over to catch her breath. She glances back. No one has followed her. In front of Petra lies a red truck lying off the shoulder of a winding road. I like to set the scene first, because otherwise, I only have a finite ability to create a scene in my mind's eye. I don't understand this tattered backpack lying by an oak. You'd either have it on your back or in the car. Petra drives the red truck out onto the road. Petra drives. The radio plays a soothing melody. She glances in a rearview mirror, eyes wide and filled with fright, no one tailing her. We see the doe from earlier. If you're going to do the doe from earlier, make it a more special doe. So then, that's kind of a reference point. Then when we see the doe again, rather than say the doe from earlier, we could say the doe with the white heart mark from earlier, which makes it a little more specific and more memorable. Rather than that, you can just see Petra quickly stomps on the brakes. Petra quickly stomps on the brakes. Why? See previous sentence. She stops a foot away from the animal. Jesus! She sighs relieved. Boom! A gray wolf tackles the doe into the ground. You get a good sense of surprise. There's like a lot of setups, punches in this. Minimize choreography on wolf stuff. Petra can only watch horrified. You've got so many can only watch or watches stunned or turns to look or regards. But a large black wolf walks across the road looking back at her. It snarls, bearing foot-long fangs. No, it doesn't. Foot-long fangs? Really? So you're telling me that the wolf has a tooth that is longer than an inch longer than this? That's got kind of a big grill for a wolf. I barely believe that on a shark. But you're either being hyperbolic on the foot-long fangs, or You really need to describe how big this goddamn wolf is, because right now you're not doing justice to an animal of that magnitude. Petra would say, Jesus fucking Christ, a mutant wolf! Or, yep, it's giant wolf season again. We live in Fantasyland. Petra stares back, frightened but captivated by the wolf. It takes off across the road, off to join its pack. What is a small yet bustling town? We see various wolf skins hanging in front of small stores. A group of hunters drive by in a pickup. Construction workers pour the foundation of a large office complex at the edge of town. An unusual number of police officers stand guard with firearms drawn. They watch the forest, tense. Exterior, Brookhaven Academy, day. Possibly the largest and oldest building in town. That is an unfilmable. Largeness and oldness doesn't give me much to go on, because I'm just seeing a generic blank building in my mind's eye. And I like pictures. Feed me pictures. A steady flow of adults and children stream into its large doors. Petra sits near the front steps of the school. Unlike in the wild, she seems meek and discouraged as she draws in her sketchbook. Dean Shaw, 54, balding yet distinguished, drops off his pretty teenage daughter, Sylvia, 16. They hug each other in farewell. Petra gives them a sour look before returning to her work. She's sketching the black wolf. A stunning, ferocious portrait. No shit, it's stunning. It's got foot-long teeth. So let's say a wolf tooth is like an inch. Your average wolf is about 3 feet tall at the shoulder. And your average wolf has a 1 inch long teeth. So what you're really telling me is that this is a wolf that is 36 feet tall. I think Petra is a pretty badass girl, because she didn't even blink when she saw a 36-foot tall wolf. It's like a Godzilla-sized wolf. And I really want to see that movie. And I know that's not the size of the wolf you wanted to describe. So now I'm kind of bummed that this is just like regular wolves attacking a town. Readers are cynical little bitches who are all jealous that their own scripts aren't getting made, and if there's something that's mockable, they will probably mock it in their head. Suddenly, black ash lands on the drawing's nose. That is a cool image. I really like that. That is a well thought out and cool image, so kudos there. Petra glances up. At a second-story window, 3 bullies glare down at Petra, smoking cigarettes. The ringleader, Annie, spits. Saliva hits Petra directly in the forehead. I really like that image. I get a sense of space here. It's like you built a little dollhouse in your mind. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. That's really well imagined. Disgusted and furious, Petra grabs her things and retreats inside. Though one pattern I'm noticing in the script is, you like double adjectives. Balding, yet distinguished. Tall, yet short. Boyish, yet not boyish. You know. Petra enters her cold, forlorn room. Alright, from now on, let's just drink every time there's like a double adjective. A desk holds a motley selection of books, Roman history, survival guides, animal encyclopedias. Alright. At this juncture, I don't understand a damn thing about Petra. Draws. Reads eclectic books. So, I'd love to know a little bit more about this character, because right now she's kind of a cipher. What's going on in her head? What does she want? Is she straight or gay? Does she like animals more than people? Was she like this before the death of her parents, or was she a normal, happy girl, but after the death of her parents got brooding and dark? Confused, she lifts the backpack. She quickly yanks off the covers. She gags. A dead possum lies on her mattress, stomach split open. She throws her backpack at the dresser mirror. The mirror cracks. Petra stares at a livid, hurt reflection. Drink, double adjective. When an animal feels that its territory has been invaded, it becomes aggressive. That's what makes these wolves a potential hazard. Jacobson? Who the hell is Jacobson? Is Jacobson the kind of newbie guy who was in the woods earlier? Okay, yeah, I kind of forgot who Jacobson was here, so. Jacobson is the guy from earlier, but I forgot. Yeah, my attention span is not that great, so I kind of forgot. This could be thinner, cleaner, more efficient, more streamlined. Less goddamn reading. Also, I would think she'd have some kind of reaction to that. The door opens. Keller, dressed in a suit and tie and wielding a briefcase, peers into the room. Jacobson's legs tremble. Everything okay here, Officer Jacobson? Fine, Sergeant Keller, just fine. The name registers with Petra. She looks up and goes white at the sight of the man. She bends her head low over her sketchbook. Didn't this crazy bitch Petra at any point look up and say, huh, that's the guy who I just saw attacked by a goddamn wolf? You know, just have it just be a generic cop. And then when Keller comes in, it's like, oh, gasp. Now the recognition comes in. Keller is actually a sergeant with the police department. He's a bad man in a position of authority, and he knows what Petra looks like. I'm intrigued. I'm too busy being angry at the logic gap of why didn't Petra recognize Jacobson quicker. Keller walks in. His smile doesn't quite reach his dark eyes. An immediate intimidating vibe seeps through the room. You know, why say in 4 lines what you can say in 2? Keller is an authority figure. He's an alpha male. Alpha males don't apologize. So I'd probably do a structure like this. Continue putting these fine scholars to sleep. Mission accomplished, my friend. Given that they're afraid of Keller, and given that he's an authority figure and he's making a dad joke, I can't for Petra feels about seeing this psycho douchebag again. Why don't I take a crack at them? Like, if he's a badass alpha male, let him be a badass alpha male. Let's just have him meekly retreat and grab a seat in the front row. Keller sets down the briefcase and switches off the presentation. Right, so that's kind of filler words. Alpha males don't use bullshit words like that. How many of you have ever seen a wolf? A few scattered hands. Petra doesn't dare raise hers. She sinks her head lower. Given that the town and the roads are literally lousy with wolves, why wouldn't every kid raise their hand? Of course you haven't. Because you're all still alive. If I had to guess, I would say that we're in a town, it's got a wolf problem. Some corporation is building a factory and they've got a lot of police presence. Keller represents the corrupt cops and they're giving a presentation. Yeah, I just don't like this speech at all. This is unusual because we all went to high school, I think. And very few of us have ever had the cops come in and do a demonstration on the wolves, which are apparently besetting our friends and neighbors. So it's already unusual that this presentation is going down. And I think what's missing here is context. Like, I don't know anything about Petra. I don't know anything about the town. I don't know anything about the corporation that's building the big office complex with all the cops watching it. I don't know what the town's relationship with the police department is. And I don't know why the police department is doing a wolf seminar in the middle of the day. Yeah, I'm 10 pages in, and I don't really know what's going on. And at this point, you've strung together a bunch of interesting incidents. But given that you're already interesting in the opening, you know, with Petra in the woods or with the crazy wolf, which may or may not be 4 stories tall, whatever's going on, make it clearer.